We're back with the Opie and Anthony Show. That voice just gives me chills there, Ronnie. Ronnie James Dio. We got Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. Black Sabbath / Heaven and Hell in studio.
Ronnie, Vinny Appice, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler. I could not be happier that you guys came in today.
I thought for sure he was going to say something else. That song gives me something else.
It does. You guys got up. I mean, I know that you and Tony were like, getting up kind of sucks in the morning, and I'm glad you guys made it in.
Why should these guys have to get up early? They've earned the right to wake up at 3 in the afternoon if they want.
That's what we said.
Exactly.
See ya.
Walk around.
Did you go to bed last night?
Do you? How about turning that mic on?
Early in the morning.
We don't have your mic on for some reason.
There it is.
Is the
Now
mic
it's on.
Is it on?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Mine's not, is it?
Yep.
All right.
All right, good. We usually 4 mics, 1 gets screwed up, but I think you're okay.
Yeah. 4 is, we can't even comprehend 4 mics.
I went to the show on Friday night, and man, were you guys fantastic. You don't miss a note. I got the chills when you were doing Heaven and Hell. It was just amazing.
Thank you.
You didn't miss a note. You were fantastic.
He said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard a British voice. I kind of knew to look in that direction.
I missed 3 notes.
You missed 3, huh? Ronnie, what do you do for your voice that keeps it? Because there are a lot of guys that, you're talking through the 70s, the 80s, 90s, guys that have just blown their voices out, especially that sing with the intensity you do. What is it? Luck? Is it something you do?
I guess some of it's probably luck. I would imagine most of it is technique. If you know what you're doing, you can deal with it.
Because a lot of people wouldn't think of you as somebody that actually thinks of technique with singing. They're thinking you just balls out, singing, and you are using the proper technique so you can keep singing over the years.
Absolutely, you have to. I mean, if you just blow yourself away by just screaming and shouting from up here, see, everything comes from the diaphragm. It's all technique.
There's nothing sadder than seeing a band whose singer is well past their prime and hasn't taken care of their voice and can't hit those notes. So it's just so cool to getting some chuckles, getting some chuckles from the band. You're not saying anything, but there's a few chuckles.
Yeah, you can't see the band. They just kind of looked at each other and a little chuckle.
Yeah, a couple of chuckles. No, but Ronnie James, man, you kick ass. Absolutely, the voice is right there. It's amazing to listen to.
Thank you, Ants.
How is it being on stage without Ozzy?
Ants, what are you doing?
Hey, Gaines.
How is it being on stage without Ozzy? I mean,
It's the same for Ronnie.
And what, did they play Radio City?
yeah, it was amazing. And Eddie Trunk, I went to see them at Eddie Trunk's show, and at the end of it, he thanked everybody for being in the studio, and he goes, I want to thank Jim Norton for looking like a stalker. I just stood there. I really am like Hinckley. I just stand there and look at these poor guys. I try to talk, and I'm just creepy.
You are frightening. When
You guys do understand he's your number 1 fan, right? I mean, I'm not even kidding. There's no one that is a bigger fan than Jim Norton as far as Black Sabbath goes. And I wish you guys would come in every day because we get the happy Jimmy. He's skipping around the joint. He's got all sorts of memorabilia and pictures and. No, I know.
Usually a miserable sot.
He usually sucks, but today he's all happy. He's saying good morning to everybody.
He was in the front at Hall of Fame as well.
I don't know if that mic's on.
Is that mic on?
I don't know.
Because Tony just said I was in the front at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I got pictures. I hijacked the press conference. This stupid press is trying to ask when's the next album coming out, and I'm up in the front row, and they're like, "Sir, could you sit down?" I'm like, "Just die already." I must have asked 20 questions, and it was fan questions. I wanted to answer fan questions. I didn't want them the same corny questions because the press kind of douched him for all those years. So it was nice to be able to ask fan questions for,
Jimmy felt like he was asking. He wanted to outdo the press and everybody else with his Black Sabbath prowess, his knowledge of Black Sabbath, and I think it made him come off like a complete stalker.
The first time I met Tony and Geezer, they were doing a signing in Philadelphia, and I got a little over anxious. As soon as they got off the bus, I'm over there with a camera.
Oh, the worst thing you could do, unless you're a chick.
And I know exactly. If I was a chick, would have been like, "Come on." Their manager's like, "All right, just wait a minute." And then I'm trying to talk to Tony as he's walking by. I'm like, "Yeah, but I'll be interviewing you next week on XM." This is like a year ago, and he goes, "Okay, great." And then a minute later, I'm in front of him with a camera, and he goes, "Oh, you again?" I creeped him out the first time.
How are the fans taking you guys? Are they really digging it? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's been really surprising to us. I think that there's been this much attention given to us. I mean, just the band. Selling Radio City out so quickly was probably that was the forward to all of this, really, and everything else kind of followed through as well.
There aren't many bands that can go out with 2 completely different singers and still attract huge crowds.
Their fault.
It's all you guys. Yeah, it's all your fault.
It's incredible how young the kids are as well that come to the show.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they're also, it's weird because I was driving through town and I went right past Radio City and you see kids and they're with their parents.
Yeah.
And the parents look like degenerates. These guys are all like, they got like, they're completely bald. They might have a little rat tail in the back, and then their kids are just kind of strutting around. You guys, and I thought I saw you crossing the street, but then they got their kids with them, you know, and their kids are digging it.
Maybe we can do diapers on the next.
Diapers.
Actually,
is that mic on?
Actually, we have a merchandise thing that, you know, in the Dio band, and they're called Holy Diapers.
Holy.
Did he leak?
Probably.
And I was amazed talking to these guys too, because you have the same problems that we do. Like, we do a traveling virus, we do a comedy tour, and you were saying that you weren't happy, Tony, with the sound check because you guys didn't get to really complete the sound check. What happened with that? Like, you go in there to play and...
Well, we were hanging around for ages, and then eventually we were allowed to go on stage. And
that mic's not on.
Oh, it's kind of on.
No, it's on. It's just echoing.
Is
this one on?
The other mic is picking him up.
Okay.
There we go.
Thanks.
We, you see?
That's not on either.
That doesn't sound on either.
Keep screwing with them.
There you go.
I'll use this.
All right.
It's off again.
We got on stage, and it lasted a couple of minutes, and then we had to stop. So basically, we didn't have a sound check, and we had no proper monitor check or anything. And because we were filming that, it was really important as well that we got a sound check. But
how the hell did you not get to do a sound check?
It's called Union.
Unions.
Union.
Right.
That's what it's
we heard
called.
this voice from the speaker: "Stop! Stop! Stop!" And that
Everybody
was it.
off the stage.
Everybody off the stage.
You kidding me?
yeah.
Black Sabbath wants to warm up, and they're filming a DVD, and the stupid union has to jump in. In the middle of the song?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like this.
Tony put a
be the
curse
first
on
time.
them, so that.
Good.
That'll stop them.
I know about the evilness. It's got to work.
What time did you guys have to wake up this morning?
We just stayed up all night long.
Did you drink? Do you drink? Are you a drinker? Ronnie? Oh,
Ronnie goes, yeah.
Got anything?
Yeah, right. What
I
do
would
we
love
got?
to have you guys loaded in the morning. Believe me, I
This
passed
hour.
a stupid opening day. I was a Yankee fan like Ronnie is, and they had opening day tickets behind the dugout. And I said, do I want to go do that, or do I want to go stare at four men at XM later on? And I passed up those stupid baseball tickets so I can go and watch you guys talk to Eddie later. I just don't want you to think I'm dangerous. I have no weapons. I'm a nice fella.
I'm going to the stadium. Hell, you could take my place.
Oh, how great would that
gonna
be?
see the
We'd go to
game, man.
Let's just blow it. I was going to bring you a Mariano Rivera signed baseball, but I figured that'd be too groveling and needy, and he
It would
probably
be.
knows Mariano. I'm glad I didn't do it. But way to mention what I almost did, which would have been nice for the band. The CD is called Black Sabbath: The Dio Years. It's a lot of stuff with Ronnie, and it's also 3 new songs which are phenomenal. I heard them. The Devil Cried, and there's one with Shadow on the title, which I don't remember.
Shadow of the Wind.
Shadow of the Wind.
Air in the Wall. Yeah.
And could you tell me about the CD? I'm really psyched you guys finally putting something out with you on it again.
Well, all of this started because they asked us if we had anything new or old new, the things that hadn't been heard before, and we didn't. We don't. We just kind of write for the project, so we don't keep things on the side. If it wasn't good enough to be on the album, then we don't deal with it. So they asked if we would make this a bit more of a special presentation for the people who are going to pay the money for this, and would we write 2 songs. So we talked about it. We agreed to do that, and that was really what kick-started this whole project. And as you can see, we wrote 3 songs instead of 2 because it just went so well.
Yeah,
Great.
good, man. And the thing I was thinking about this morning is like Ozzy, is out of Sabbath in like what 79 or early 80, and everybody succeeded. Like, I mean, Ozzy did really well on his own, and then you come in, and I think what you did was harder because you had to replace a guy who was very well loved, and you put out Mob Rules, Heaven and Hell, and then again Live Evil. And were you nervous coming into that situation and replacing a guy who was so associated with the band as a frontman?
I'm never nervous about anything.
No, you don't care?
No.
Why the hell should he be?
Well, you know,
Right?
I don't consider myself to be him. I consider myself to be me.
Right.
I only have me to present to all this. So, you know, you shouldn't be nervous about, you know, what you think you can do properly. So it's not a problem for me at all. I mean, the worst part for me, I think, was probably the first month of the tour that we did in America, because I thought that, you know, that the sign that I should be using was this one because that's all they saw.
The middle finger? Were they jamming their finger up at you?
It wasn't very nice. Wow. Because once again, when you're put in a position of having to replace someone who they did care about so much, a lot of the adamant fans, saluted me with the middle finger a lot. So I just added the other finger to it, so then I created my own little thing,
That is your thing. People on radio can't see it, but it's the pinky and the pointer finger up, like the devil horns.
Get that thumb down. Get that thumb down.
Oh, did I put the thumb wrong? I'm just a nervous Nelly.
You're in Hawaii. Mahalo.
Little faggoty girl hands I have waving around. Trying to do the devil horns. I'm getting picked up by other men outside. I really make myself sick. So you guys have like a whole American tour hooked up. I'm really happy that you guys came in today. I'm really, you don't know how pleased I am. And I know that you were concerned that you weren't going to make it in, but I'm really, and Geezer, you look sick. Are you alright? Can I get you anything?
I was just nodding off, actually.
Nodding off and Jimmy.
To get him up at this time of the morning, it's a bloody miracle.
Are you usually not up at all? Like you live the rock star life?
If I'm just about going to bed.
You stay up all night normally drinking and causing a problem?
No, I don't drink. I've never drunk in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
They're all laughing. It's funny. I remember somebody the other night kind of screaming into a mic. It must have been somebody else. It wasn't.
Oh, that was my nephew.
I have a good photo to show you off air of us taking a picture together. It's really, I've never been happier in my life about anything.
Hey, did you guys, writing the new songs, any different technique than the old days, or did you have to, was it harder for you guys to write something in a new millennium than it was years ago, or did you just keep the same formula?
I don't want to hog the mic. You want to go for that one, Tone? Oh, never mind. I'll take that one.
Give him a mic that works. Crank him up.
No, it was really easy. Really simple. We're just exactly.
How come that mic can't work?
Yeah, why?
God damn it.
Why?
That one doesn't work either.
No, it's...
What the fuck?
Take mine.
Come on.
Do this.
We can get 4 mics to work in here, can't we? I'll give mine up.
If there were 3 fat chicks, they would have them.
3 fat chicks, every mic would be working.
There you
Good
go.
either.
There you go.
No, it was really simple. We just sat down and just like it was in the past, just come up with stuff, no end of different things.
I mean, I'm just thinking, like, obviously, I know as I get older, my comedy kind of changes, my taste in things change. Did that affect you guys as far as your writing went? Are you able to write about the same stuff you did, 20 years ago?
No, I don't think so. I think this was, definitely, from my perspective anyway, as a lyric writer, it was different. Because I think, there's an example of that really. When we got back together the first time we had another reunion, when we did the album Dehumanizer, I think everyone expected the album that we were going to give them to be, Heaven and Hell Junior. Because that's what people expected after 10 years of not being together. Well, they're going to give us Heaven and Hell. Well, we went completely the opposite way, and I think that in this same way, we didn't want it to be Heaven and Hell. We didn't want it to be those, but because we are what we are, we're creatures of the same writing habits. I think they could have easily populated any of those albums that I mentioned. So it just was this unbelievable lack of gap. For some reason, at this time, 14 years later, we wrote the same way, which is why it worked the first time. So, not a problem at all.
Right.
How surprised are you guys? I mean, you start in 1969 or 68, you first get together, and then here you are, X amount of years later, selling out a 5,000 seat or 6,000 seat venue in under a half hour. I mean that's pretty miraculous, and you're doing it with not only a different singer, but a drummer that wasn't originally with the band, a great drummer, Vinny Appice, who came in on the Heaven and Hell tour, and then you did Mob Rules, you did Live Evil, you did Dehumanizer. So he's a legitimate member of Black Sabbath, not just a Bill Ward replacement. I mean, you've been with Sabbath quite a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the extended family here.
Right.
Yeah. So actually, I've done 3 albums with Ronnie singing, and Bill did 1. So I'm actually a couple up on Bill here, finally.
It's kind of cool. It's like this really weird, like, it's kind of like a bunch of guys who are just banging the same chicks, like back and forth.
Yeah, very incestuous.
Yeah.
Musical incest.
Yeah.
You guys ever swap girls, do you? Do you ever swap chicks at this point, or are you just kind of like done with that part?
We can't tell.
We swap.
One of them now. Your turn.
Yeah. He's got what he had a couple of months ago. Well, did you, Ronnie? Did you see the episode of South Park with
Yes,
your
I
character
did.
in it? What did you think of that?
Well, I was really worried about it, to tell you the truth, because when they first called and said we want to do a South Park about Ronnie, initially I said absolutely not, because I've seen what they've done to other people.
Oh yeah, crucify him.
But they promised me. They said, "Look, we're really, really big fans, and we wouldn't do anything to make him feel bad."
Yeah.
So I thought, if you want to be an American icon, you got to have that in your resume. So
that's pretty much it.
I said, okay, and they were really kind to me, but if you remember the episode, they were not kind to the drummer.
No.
He eventually turned into a monkey who was having a wank. Yeah. Sorry,
was that you, Vinny?
Supposed to be, was that me?
Probably.
Oh, it was the drummer. So it probably was.
They were
turned into a
holy divers.
wanking monkey.
Oh, really? Well,
they sussed you then, Vinny.
That's not bad. I guess all those years you put in, and that's what people remember you for, being a wanking monkey. I guess I kind of respect that in some odd way. Like, you guys will never have that claim to fame, to be a wanking monkey. All right, so the girls are not as prevalent as they used to be, or are you just guys kind of done with that and over it? And
non-existent, and I meant not as prevalent.
That's like one of our road shows. Jesus Christ, a bunch of fat guys.
It is amazing how many guys. Was there ever a guy in the band? Did you guys ever wind up all right, well, I'm the one who usually gets stuck with the fatty? Was there anybody who kind of got that tag thrown on them?
No, I think we always look for the fat ones because they're the easy ones.
You're just looking at craft services when you come up, you stem on them, of course.
No, we don't even bother looking for them.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah. Just get off stage and go, why bother?
Where's the bird?
There's times as a comic where I'm on stage and I just know I'm having a bad show. Do you guys feel that ever too? Today, when you're on stage, you're just going this is this is not what we want.
Sure.
Yeah, I think everybody must have that,
What do you do? I mean, you can't pull it.
You can carry on.
I guess that was a stupid question. What do I think they did?
They cry and run off the stage.
They call their mommies.
I mean, the worst for us is you always want to do your best, and if something goes wrong on stage, it's always upsetting, really, in one way or the other. If something blows up or you can't get the proper sound or whatever it might be, that's what affects us, really.
I know as a singer, because I used to sing in a few rock bands in my day. There were those days where right when you stepped out, you just knew, wow, I am on tonight. I could hit notes all night long. And then there were some of those nights where you're like, oh boy, this one's going to be a little bit of a chore. You're building up the notes about a couple of seconds ahead of you, and you got to take that extra breath. You ever have those nights where you're...
I've had those nights, but that's usually due to, as you'll remember, having a cold.
Yeah. Cold to do it.
Don't have a cold, everything's cool. But, singing is such a physical task that, for me, it's worry more than anything else. If I think I'm going to have a problem the next day, I can't sleep at all. I do nothing but worry. I test my voice all the time, all through the night. And
you ever think you're going to be shot, and then you get out on stage and just sound amazing? Mm-hmm. Isn't that something? Yeah, I never understood that. It's God damn, I can't. After doing maybe 4 days in a row, and you're like, oh man, I'm getting a little chewed up in the throat. This is going to be a bad one tonight. I hope you rearrange the set list a little bit. And then you get out there and go, what the hell was I worried about?
No.
No,
of course not. You're amazing, you bastard.
The worst thing for a performer is when you have to take a dump the minute you walk on stage. There's nothing more horrifying than that heavy feeling in your stomach, and you're like, I got another hour and 10 to go. This is not going to be easy.
Well, we wear a lot of rubber trousers.
You talk a lot about nerves before, but you guys, I mean, ever when you're walking out, still get the butterflies, get the nerves?
I don't.
No.
I do. Well, the first gig of this tour in Vancouver, I was literally cacking myself.
Really?
In the bog all day long.
You were nervous?
There was nothing else to come out. Yeah. I think I was still doing it when I was on stage. Thank God for Depend.
And not only do you guys have a new album, you are doing an in-store too, which I know is tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon at 6 p.m. Where exactly is it?
Best Buy.
Best Buy where? Midtown Best Buy. You guys are going to be signing Black Sabbath, the Dio years.
Yep.
I will somehow manage to weasel myself over
course
there
you
as
will.
well. But,
why wouldn't you?
You want to go down and meet the guys? I mean, you've all been really nice every time I've met you. So I love you guys. And I'm so happy that you're back out. And
Thank you, Jim.
a lot of success, man. A lot of success.
Guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Anthony.
Thank you.
Thanks, Opie.
And we apologize for the mics not all working. I know that's kind of frustrating. So thank you guys for coming.
But if you knew this place, you'd go, no, it figures.
Yeah. The good part is that at least one of them worked. That's actually.
Yeah.
Well, very, very good. Thank you, guys. We greatly appreciate it. We got to move over to XM Satellite Radio. If you're not joining us over there, have a great day. Once again, Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. The Dio Years is the...
Yes, comes out tomorrow. Buy it.
Thanks, man.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.